Quick question, and actually commit to an answer in your head before I keep talking. n8n Cloud, the paid plan, costs $20 a month. Running n8n yourself on a rented server costs about $10. So which one should you pick? If you said the $10 one, obviously it's half the price. Hold that thought, because the price is the least interesting number in this entire comparison, and picking on price alone is how people end up on the wrong side of this decision. There's a second number that matters way more than $10. Most comparison videos skip right past it, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. 2 days in, you've built 2 real automations, and you've hit the question every person who builds with this tool eventually asks: where does this thing actually live, and what does it cost me? There are 2 honest answers. n8n Cloud, somebody else runs the servers, you just log in. Or self-hosted, you run it yourself on a box you rent. Almost everything written comparing these two was written by somebody trying to sell you one of them. I'm not selling either. No affiliate links in the description today or ever. I'll put real numbers on screen and you land where your situation points. No build today, just the honest comparison, which if you're about to run this thing for a business, might be more useful than a video anyway. Here's the cloud side straight. $20 a month gets you the starter plan, and for that you get something genuinely valuable. You never think about a server, ever. Updates, security patches, uptime, backups, all somebody else's job forever. You log in, you build, you close the laptop. For a lot of people, that is worth well more than $20, and I want to say that plainly before I say anything else. But look at the number in amber, because this is the one that people miss. 2,500 executions a month. That's the ceiling on the starter plan. And here's what an execution actually is, because it decides whether that ceiling is a problem for you. One execution is one full run of a workflow, start to finish, whether it's 3 nodes or 300. So if you got a workflow checking for new leads every 15 minutes, that's 4 runs an hour around the clock. Do the math, and a single always-on workflow can eat your entire monthly allowance by itself before you built anything else. The cap isn't a pricing detail, it's a wall, and you can hit it faster than you'd think. You can pay your way up, of course. The next tiers lift the ceiling for more money a month, but notice what you're really buying as you climb. Permission to run your own workflows more often, which is a strange thing to be metered on once you sit with it. Now let's consider the other side. A basic VPS, a virtual private server, you rent. Runs about $10 a month on Contabo, about half the price of the cloud plan. But the $10 again is not the headline is the amber line. Unlimited executions, unlimited workflows. There's no meter. That same lead checker running every 15 minutes plus 50 other workflows running as often as you like. The bill is $10 whether they run 1,000 times or 1,000,000. You own the box. What runs on it is nobody's business but yours. So on paper it's not close. Cheaper and uncapped versus pricier and metered, which is exactly the moment every self-hosting video high-fives itself and rolls the credits. We're not doing that, because there is a cost on this side too, and pretending there isn't is how those videos lose your trust. The catch is that box is now yours to look after. Updates are on you, and if it goes down at 2 in the morning, it stays down until you notice. Realistically, that's an hour or so a month, running an update, checking a backup, occasionally unsticking something. Not a second job, but not zero either. And your time isn't free. That maintenance hour is the real price of self-hosting, not the $10, the ownership. I'm not going to stand up a server on camera today, because honestly watching me paste config into a terminal wouldn't teach you the thing that actually matters here. The setup is genuinely close to copy and paste. The file that does it is a free download in the description if you want it, but whether you should is the whole video. Put a year on it. Cloud, 20 a month, 240 a year, and that number never moves until you hit the execution cap and have to jump a tier, at which point it moves up. Self-hosted, 10 a month, 120 a year, flat, no cap to hit, plus honestly 12-ish hours of your own time across the year. So the real trade-off, stated cleanly, isn't cheap versus expensive, it's this. Cloud sells you zero maintenance and charges you a metered ceiling. A VPS sells you no ceiling and charges you the maintenance. You're not choosing the price, you're choosing which cost you'd rather carry, a cap or an hour. 3 honest situations. Here's how I'd call each one. You're kicking the tires, testing an idea, learning your way around. Might not still be doing this in a month, you should do cloud. Free or the $20 tier. Do not go rent a server for something you might abandon on Thursday. The simplicity is the whole point at this stage. Here's another situation. You run a business and nobody on the team is technical. Cloud. and it's not even close. That maintenance hour would cost you more in a real person's time and attention than the subscription ever will. And a server going down unnoticed is a risk you don't want riding on whoever's least busy that day. Pay the 20 and sleep fine. Here's the final situation. You're building this as a real skill, or you're going to run more than a couple workflows, or you're doing this for other people. Self-host. The execution cap will find you fast. The unlimited box is genuinely liberating once you're building at any volume, and the maintenance hour stops being a cost and becomes the exact skill you're here to build. This series self-hosts from day 15 on, and everything we build later lives in that same box. Notice there's no universal winner here. Anyone who tells you one of these is always right is selling you the one they got paid to sell. The right answer is one that matches your actual situation, which is the whole reason I did it as 3 answers instead of 1. Now it's your turn. Let's zoom out for a second, because the real skill today wasn't servers. It was refusing to pick on the sticker price alone, looking past the 10 versus 20 and asking what each option actually costs you in the ways that don't show up on the invoice. A cap you'll hit, an hour you'll owe. That habit, pricing the things that aren't on the price tag, comes back hard on day 20, when we price automation work for real clients, and it's most of the difference between builders who make money and builders who just make demos. The full cost comparison sheet is free in the description. Plug your own execution volume and your own hourly rate, and it'll point you at an answer. And if you decide to self-host, the setup file's down there too. No email wall, same as everything on this channel. Here's your challenge. Run the math for your own situation and tell me in the comments which way you landed, and whether the execution cap changed your answer, because for a lot of people, that's the number that flips it. I want to know if it surprised you the way it surprised me the first time I actually counted the runs. Stay tuned for day 4, the single most common reason n8n workflows break, explained properly, how data actually moves through a workflow, and why misunderstanding that one thing causes almost every beginner failure you'll ever hit. Subscribe if this was useful. See you tomorrow.